Divorce papers? When did you get this? If you leave, who will take care of Dad? Don't you have any love for your family?
Love? How can you say such a thing to me? Can you say such a thing after seeing this?
What? My name is Alice. I'm a housewife married for 25 years, living with my husband and in-laws. I have one grown son who has left home and now lives alone. A few years ago, my father-in-law fell ill and is now in need of nursing care. I am always busy taking care of him. My mother-in-law is in good health and I want to help her take care of him, but she leaves everything to me and does nothing. My husband is also throwing everything to me even though he lives with us. My mother-in-law and my husband are unthinkable to me, as they disregard their own husband and father and act selfishly. Alice, I told you to do the laundry yesterday, didn't I? Why didn't you wash these clothes? I was going to wear it today. My mother-in-law is going to see a play today with her friend. I wonder if her friend knows that my father-in-law is in need of nursing care. Sorry, I was busy yesterday. Can't you substitute it for something different? I can't believe you can say you're busy when you just sit at home. To my mother-in-law, it seems that doing all the housework and taking care of my father-in-law equates to just sitting at home. Yesterday, your husband didn't seem to be feeling well. Are you really going to the play? Of course I am. A friend of mine invited me to take a break from caring for my husband. Of course, I have to go. Besides, he got sick because you didn't take care of him properly. So, take better care of him.
Taking a break from caring? Even though you haven't been taking care of him at all? Besides, it's my mother-in-law's fault that my father-in-law got sick. The other day, on a whim, she tried to put a good face on my father-in-law by ventilating his room. Completely forgetting she opened the window, my mother-in-law went out. My father-in-law's body became completely cold because she had left the window open all day. I see. Then, can you please help me take care of him when you get back? Of course not. Caring for him is your job. I'm off now. Good luck with all that. With that, my mother-in-law left the house. My mother-in-law goes out several times a week like this. My husband comes home late on weekdays, and on weekends, he rarely comes home because he has to work on weekends and holidays. If he is at home, he is just sitting around relaxing. Wyatt, I need to give your father a bath. Can you help me with that? I'm tired from work. Let me rest on my day off. I'm doing everything I can to take care of your father and the housework. You just stay at home. I go to work every day. Who do you think you owe your life to? Then, can you ask your mom to help me a little? She's always out. She never helps me. What did she say? She said it's the wife's job to take care of him, but not taking care of your own husband is? If that's what my mom says, then do it. It's none of my business. I'm tired. Just leave me alone today. With that, my husband retreated to his room, and I'm left to take care of my father-in-law by myself as usual. The only good thing about this house is that my father-in-law is a good man. When I take care of him, he says, I'm sorry. If I wasn't like this, I'd scold my wife and son. Thanks for everything. This is how my father-in-law shows his appreciation for me. My father-in-law is the only one who has ever thanked me. Although I am mistreated by his wife and son, my father-in-law was still kind to me. Caring for him was hard work, but talking with him was a healing time for me. How horrible of my mother-in-law and my husband to neglect my father-in-law like this. I spent my days caring for my father-in-law and doing housework with these thoughts in my mind. Then one day, I received a phone call from my father. Alice, oh my god, your mother fell down the stairs and was rushed to the hospital.
My father sounded quite panicked. I had told my mother, whose legs and back have been weakening recently, to be careful going up and down the stairs because it was dangerous. Next week, my brother is going home with his grandchildren for the first time in a long time, and it seems she stepped off the stairs while preparing for his arrival. It seems she fell from a very high place, and there was a loud thud. She was conscious but unable to move, so they called an ambulance. The examination showed that her femur was fractured. The doctor said it would be difficult for her to stand up and walk on her own, and that she would be hospitalized for a while. It's about an hour drive to my parents' house. Of course, I'm worried about my mother with a broken bone, but I'm also worried about my father who has to live alone for a while. And even once she gets out of the hospital, she will need nursing care if she can walk. My parents have always been close, and my father used to help out with the housework, but I thought it would be very tough for him, who is not used to doing both nursing care and housework. I do it every day, and it is very rough on me. And my brother and his family live far away, so it would be difficult for him to take care of my parents. So, I am the only person who can take care of them. So, I talked to my mother-in-law about it. My mother has broken a bone and can't move. And she can't stand up after being discharged from the hospital. I would like to take care of my parents from now on. So, can you give me a few hours a day starting tomorrow? I would appreciate it if you could take care of your husband either in the morning or in the afternoon. I thought my mother-in-law will be willing to take care of him for a few hours a day. But then, she responded, "Why should I take care of him? Isn't it your responsibility to take care of him? You should take good care of him. Your father and brother can take care of your mother, right? You don't have to go there."
No, my brother lives far away. My father can't take care of the house and care for my mother by himself. He might be able to manage if I go and help out a little.
I don't care. You're the wife of this family, so you have to take care of this household. Your family can figure it out on their own.
It doesn't have to be every day. They just need a little help. Even if it's only for 3 hours, I'd appreciate it.
I told you, I don't care. I won't take care of my husband. You need to do that.
My mother-in-law said that and went out again today. She could have at least taken care of him a little. I wonder why she hates taking care of her own husband so much. My mother-in-law stubbornly refused to take care of him and pushed me to do it. I decided to talk to my husband about it. I explained to my husband, as I had done to my mother-in-law, that my own mother could no longer walk.
I told you that there is no way I'm going to take care of my dad. How many times do I have to tell you that I'm busy and tired?
But my parents are going through a hard time too. They could use a little help.
I don't care about your parents. You're my wife now, so act like one. Anyway, I won't help you. I won't say anything to my mom either. Don't ever bring it up again. Just shut up and mind your own business. Understand? You're the wife of the family.
My mother-in-law and my husband said the same thing. It's true that I'm the wife of this house, but my mother-in-law and husband have spent more time in this house with my father-in-law than I have. I know it's not a matter of time, but why do they hate it so much? I couldn't help but wonder. But that's not the point now. Can't I somehow take care of my parents at home? I was preparing dinner when I was thinking about what to do. Then, I heard a cheerful, "I'm home," from the front door. My son had came to visit me. "What's wrong? You didn't tell me you were coming."
"I thought I would just stop by." "Huh? Dad and Grandma aren't here. How's Grandpa doing?" I'm gonna go talk to him.
With that, my son went to go see his grandfather, had a little chat, and came back into the kitchen.
What's wrong, Mom? You don't look well.
Well, you see, I told my son about what happened at my parents' house recently, and I told him about how I want to take care of my parents, but my mother-in-law and husband won't let me. My son knows from being in this house that I have a hard time taking care of my father-in-law and doing the housework in this house. My son has always listened to me seriously, even when my mother-in-law and my husband don't help me with a single thing. I haven't seen any of my friends in years, and I only have time to talk to my neighbors just to say hello. I had no one to talk to at home except my father-in-law, so talking to my son felt as if I was talking about my feelings for the first time in a long time. I'm sorry for complaining.
Don't worry, Mom. You're fine.
He says this with a forced smile, and my son began to tell me something that surprised me.
I came here today to tell you something. Actually, I heard it from a friend who lives around here.
It was the answer to something I had always wondered about.
When my friend told me about it, I didn't think it was possible, but I did some digging. I got the results today, and I was so pissed off that I came here.
My son handed me an envelope and I looked inside. When I saw the contents, I was stunned. This can't be true.
Right? I was planning to yell at them, but neither Dad nor Grandma are here. I'm so angry, but I have to go home early. Sorry, Mom, but no matter what happens, I'm on your side.
That day, I was so busy feeding my father-in-law that I couldn't do anything else. I thought hard about what I should do from now on, and I decided that divorce was my only option. I felt bad for my father-in-law, but it was the only thing that came to mind when I thought about what my mother-in-law and my husband had done to me. I wanted to get divorced right away, so I decided to check the internet to see where I could find divorce papers. And I found out that they were available for download. I rushed to a local library and printed them out. When I got home, I put my signature in the wife column. I packed up my belongings and waited for my husband and mother-in-law to return home. It was my husband who came home first. "Welcome home. I need to talk to you."
I hope you're not talking about taking care of my dad again. I told you not to bring it up again. You're persistent.
Well, I'm really worried about my parents, so I'm going home.
Hey, what are you thinking? What are you going to do about this house? What are we supposed to do if the wife doesn't take care of the house?
Why don't you think for yourself? You're the son of this family, right? You should help out a little.
I'm tired from work. I had to work today, you know.
He's lying. It's obvious after seeing what my son brought me. While my husband and I were arguing, my mother-in-law came home.
What's going on? It's so noisy. I can hear you all the way outside.
I need you to take care of your husband from now on. I'm worried about my parents.
Oh, Alice, are you still talking about that? You are responsible for working for this household. You should know your priorities.
Yes, that's why I've decided to move out of this house. From now on, my feelings are my priority. Saying that, I put the divorce papers I had just filled out down on the table. The two of them widened their eyes when they realized it was a divorce decree. Their faces turned red in a flash.
Divorce papers? When did you get this? If you leave, who will take care of Dad? Don't you have any love for your family?
Love? How can you say such a thing to me? Can you say such a thing after seeing this?
I slammed the envelope my son had given me on the table. With the force of the slam, out of the envelope came a picture of my husband at the scene of the affair. He was walking arm in arm with a young woman and entering her apartment. There was also a picture of my mother-in-law having dinner with a man. What? I heard there's a rumor going around the neighborhood that you met with this woman again today. How can you talk about love for your family when you've been seeing other women? Alice, this is a little... What's going on? My husband was very confused. I have more proof other than pictures. I know your mother was also seeing someone. The friend you kept talking about was a man? That's right. It's my husband's fault for not being able to move. Then why don't you take care of him and stay with him? I don't want to. Why should I be the one to take care of him? Anyway, I can't do this anymore. I'm leaving, so you two have to take care of the rest. I took the photos I had thrown on the table and went to the front door with them. Before I left, I went to speak to my father-in-law. I'm sorry. Thank you for everything. I heard everything. I should be the one thanking you. Thank you for everything you've done for me. Please, go and take care of your parents. I'll be okay here. I guess that's not something I should say. I'm sorry. Hurry up and go. I was so sorry to my father-in-law who sent me off with a smile, and I felt bad to leave him. I returned to my parents' house on the same day, and my father welcomed me with a smile, albeit a little stressed. Shortly after I left that house, my husband and mother-in-law contacted me several times. They told me that they were pushing each other to take care of my father-in-law, and they wanted me to come back as soon as possible. I'm not filing the divorce papers. You're still the wife. Come home already. My mother-in-law in particular seems to get called by my father-in-law several times while she is at home, and she struggled with caring for him. She was unable to leave the house and seemed to be under a lot of stress. She's lost touch with her friend because she can't see him anymore. And when my husband didn't submit the divorce papers, I decided to get help from a lawyer. At the lawyer's suggestion, I sent a content-certified letter to my husband and his lover. Apparently, his lover was one of his subordinates at work. Thanks to the content-certified letter, the company found out about the affair, and my husband was transferred to a department that was notorious for its boredom. The other woman resigned because she couldn't stand the affair being discovered. My husband will now be able to participate more in his father's care. I sincerely hope that he will take care of my father-in-law with love. And I did everything I could for my mother, who is now in a wheelchair, until she was discharged from the hospital. I redecorated an open room into a room exclusively for my mother, and prepared a nursing bed for her. We also installed a handrail in the hallway so that she could practice standing and walking as much as possible. My mother was discharged from the hospital in a few days, and she seems to be dreading the fact that I divorced my husband. However, she is really happy to be able to live with me for the first time in a long time. At first, she had a hard time moving. I accompany her to rehabilitation, and she seems to be getting a little more comfortable. My father is also very supportive of my mother's care and takes her for walks in her wheelchair. I realized, once again, that it wasn't possible to take care of my mother without the support of my family. Maybe I don't have much time left to spend with my parents. I don't like to think about it too much, but thinking about it makes me want to cherish every moment I have with my parents.